America is witnessing the largest wave of retail closures since World War II. More than 3,200 stores have vanished in just 12 months, from Walmart, Walgreens to Best Buy, and that number could double before mid-2026. If you live in Florida, Texas, or California, listen carefully. The next wave of cuts could directly impact your job, prices, and even your own neighborhood. The retail giants are quietly replacing humans with AI, cutting rental costs, and shifting entirely to online sales. In this video, I'll show you the 10 biggest retailers in America that are shutting down stores, the real reasons behind it, and how you can tell if your area is about to be affected. Watch until the end, because there, I'll reveal the name of the brand preparing for the biggest layoff in America in 2025. 10. Walmart, the giant shrinking back. Walmart, the symbol of the American consumer dream, is going through the most unbelievable period in its more than half-century history. From Chicago to Portland, from Albuquerque to San Diego, the familiar blue and yellow store closing signs are appearing more and more, making people wonder, if even Walmart has to close, who can survive? The noteworthy point is that Walmart is not losing money. On the contrary, the company still generates over $600 billion in revenue each year. But behind that massive number is a network of more than 4,600 stores facing unprecedented pressure. Sales in many working-class areas, once the backbone of the system, have plummeted as living costs rise, forcing people to cut back on spending. Average baskets are smaller, shopping frequency is lower, and purchasing power is gradually shifting to cheaper online platforms. Walmart is forced to face the reality. Some stores no longer have enough revenue to survive, but that is only the surface. Beneath it, a more serious problem is eroding this retail chain: theft. CEO Doug McMillon himself warned on CNBC that if the theft trend continues, Walmart will be forced to close more stores. Statistics from the National Retail Federation show that in 2023, retail chains across the U.S. lost more than $112 billion due to theft, nearly a 20% increase compared to 2 years earlier. In many cities, police are understaffed to handle cases, and criminal laws allow thefts under $1,000 to be overlooked. The result is that many Walmart stores in urban areas have to close not because of losses, but because security costs exceed what they can bear. At the same time, there is a comprehensive shift to the online model. Walmart has invested billions of dollars in artificial intelligence, warehouse robots, and automated distribution systems to compete directly with Amazon. The company is restructuring its entire supply chain, turning the most efficient stores into logistics hubs, serving both in-store customers and as online delivery centers. This means fewer stores, but stronger, smarter. However, closures still cause heavy losses for local communities. Every Walmart store that disappears costs hundreds of jobs, small towns lose their shopping centers, and economic life slows down. For many people, Walmart is not just a place to buy cheap groceries. It is a rhythm of life, a job, a habit connected for 20, 30 years. When that door closes, it is not just losing a supermarket. It is losing a part of the community's memory. Yet looking deeper, this is not necessarily a sign of collapse, but a strategic retreat. Walmart is experimenting with a series of new models, from AI distribution centers to mini automated stores and 30-minute delivery services. They are not collapsing. They are rewriting the way Americans shop. And it is precisely in this phase that these quiet changes could be the key helping Walmart enter a new retail era where speed, technology, and consumer trust determine who will survive. What would you think if this happened in your area? 9. Amazon Fresh. The checkout free machine running out of battery midway. Sounds futuristic, but for hundreds of Amazon Fresh employees recently laid off in California, Washington, and Illinois, this is the bitter present. Stores once praised as no checkout, no lines, now hang closed signs, lights off, and shelves empty, a symbol of overambition. Amazon had promised to change the way Americans buy groceries. They poured billions into the just walk out technology, where you just step in, grab items, and walk out, with the machine automatically charging you. But that dream collapsed because of two words: costs. The sensor and AI camera systems cost millions per year to operate, while actual revenue fell as consumers returned to cheaper traditional supermarkets. In 2024, Amazon's grocery division lost over $700 million, forcing the corporation to lay off staff and close underperforming stores. Once bustling shopping centers are now deserted. Those who once believed robots will replace humans are now the first to lose their jobs. The reality is that Americans are not ready to live in a fully camera-monitored supermarket. They want to touch products, talk to staff, ask about promotions, and not be tracked every step of the way. Smart technology cannot save an emotionless model, and that is why Amazon Fresh, the checkout-free machine, has to pause its journey. Now, Amazon is shifting to a hybrid model, less technology, but closer to consumers. Still, this story leaves a warning. No one, not even Amazon, can run faster than human demand. If you have ever seen an Amazon Fresh store close near where you live, leave a comment about how it affected your neighborhood. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, because the next story is even more shocking. 8. Foot Locker. From fast lane to dead end. There was a time when Foot Locker was a sanctuary for sneaker lovers. Every time a new Nike Air or Adidas Yeezy was released, long lines formed at the doors, as if entering a ritual. But now, that scene exists only in memory. In 2025, Foot Locker officially confirmed the closure of over 400 stores in North America, especially in major shopping malls, once the lifeblood of the brand. Revenue dropped more than 30% in 2 years, and what shocked many even more was that young people were no longer interested in buying sneakers in-store. They buy online, trade on Discord, hunt deals on StockX. The sneaker world has taken a new turn, and Foot Locker was left behind at the curve. CEO Mary Dillon once said in a meeting at the beginning of 2025, "We don't lack customers. We lack a reason for them to step into the store." This statement is like a bitter confession that the old-school retail model is over. While costs for rent, insurance, and staff are rising, store traffic has dropped more than 40% compared to 2019. Many branches in Los Angeles and New York were even forced to close permanently because revenue could not cover the rent. The irony is that Foot Locker itself, an icon of American sneaker culture, is becoming a victim of the very culture it helped create. Young people no longer need to step into a store to experience it. They watch reviews on TikTok, shop via apps, and hunt rare sneakers using AI bots. Convenience kills emotion, and that is how a legendary brand slowly fades away in silence. Do you remember the first pair of shoes you bought at Foot Locker? Leave a comment about it, because perhaps those memories will soon be just the recollection of a retail era that has ended. And don't forget to hit subscribe to explore with me, after Foot Locker, who will be the next giant to fall. 7. CVS Pharmacy. The healthcare giant losing blood. Once considered the red and white wall that could never collapse in the US, CVS Pharmacy, the largest pharmacy chain in the country with over 9,000 locations, is facing the most serious crisis in its history. When CEO Karen Lynch stated that the retail pharmacy industry must reinvent itself or die, many realized the familiar CVS buildings are gradually disappearing from their neighborhoods. The reasons are not only due to online competition, but also the massive operational cost structure, rising rent, increasing employee insurance costs, and in-store theft causing revenue to bleed millions of dollars each month. On top of that, Americans are increasingly purchasing medications via online services or telehealth apps, causing in-store traffic to drop sharply. According to the latest data, CVS plans to close over 900 stores across the U.S. in the next 3 years. In cities like San Francisco, Chicago, and Philadelphia, many branches are already empty, windows covered, and for lease signs appear where familiar shopping spots once were. With each store closure, dozens of employees lose their jobs, many of whom have worked at CVS for over 10 years. Local residents, especially seniors, the group dependent on daily prescription medications, now have to drive farther or switch to online ordering. But the irony is, home delivery costs are not cheap, and customer service is slower than ever. CVS, once a symbol of America's health, is now a vivid example of how traditional retail cannot win against the storm of technology and operational costs. Can this giant pivot fast enough before the last stores go dark? If you have ever witnessed a CVS store close in your area or have trouble finding medications, leave a comment below. We will read every single one. Neoxits 36. Best Buy. From tech heaven to digital swamp. There was a time when every weekend Americans flocked to Best Buy as if attending a festival. 4K TVs shining bright, sound from Bose and Sony speakers blending with the new plastic smell of first-generation laptops. A place where people experienced the future with their own hands. Best Buy was once the largest tech empire in the US, with over 1,500 stores, generating over $50 billion in revenue annually. But the future they once sold is exactly what killed them. When Amazon, eBay, and online platforms exploded, consumers started checking products at Best Buy and then buying online. This phenomenon is called showrooming, and Best Buy became the largest free showroom for Amazon. Although they tried to fight back with price match services and added Geek Squad consultation counters, profit margins were razor thin, and the operating costs of physical stores continued to pile up. From 2020 to 2024, Best Buy closed over 400 stores across the US, cutting thousands of jobs, especially in the Midwest and California. Many once bustling shopping malls are now dusty, with for lease signs hanging in front, like an unhealed wound. A veteran employee in Illinois said, "We used to be proud to introduce the first-generation iPhone to customers. Now, I have to guide them to buy online because the store no longer has enough models." With the rise of e-commerce and AI, Best Buy is trying to pivot toward tech support and smart home services. But is it enough to survive? This question is not only for them, but for an entire generation of American businesses that once believed direct selling was unchangeable. Do you still buy devices in physical stores? Or is everything now just a click on the screen? Leave a comment and let me know. 5. Walgreens. The giant cutting itself in half. In many U.S. neighborhoods, the red and white Walgreens sign was once a familiar sight, a place where people bought medicine, milk, or simply stopped in to print a few photos. But now, many return after a few months to find the doors locked and for lease signs dangling on dusty windows. A longtime employee in Chicago told CBS, "We don't need the news. Just seeing the stock shrink is enough to know it's our store's turn. She was laid off after 14 years, not because of any mistake, but because Walgreens is closing over 2,100 stores across the U.S., part of a plan to cut losses to survive. Once a heavy competitor of CVS, Walgreens is now stuck between cost pressures, online competition, and changing consumer habits post-pandemic. People no longer go to the store to buy a bottle of vitamins or toothpaste. They order everything through Amazon. Meanwhile, shoplifting in major cities like San Francisco and Portland is causing Walgreens to lose millions of dollars each quarter. The peak came in 2024, when Walgreens' CEO admitted, "Our traditional store model is no longer effective in many areas." That statement was like the death knell for a system that once had over 9,000 active locations. Some of the closed stores are in low-income neighborhoods, where Walgreens was the only pharmacy left. When the store disappears, people must drive tens of miles to get basic medications. Many seniors and chronically ill patients have to wait for mail delivery, and sometimes medicines arrive 3 to 5 days late. From a brand once considered the medical lifeline of the community, Walgreens is now cutting its own lifeblood to survive. And the first to suffer are not the shareholders, but the employees, loyal customers, and small towns that once relied on the store. Do you still have an open Walgreens in your area? Or has it closed like so many others? Leave a comment below, because your story might be the truest picture of America today. 4. Kroger, the supermarket being strangled by costs. Kroger is the second largest supermarket chain in the U.S., after Walmart, with over 2,700 stores. But behind the shelves still lit, there is a life or death battle. In 2025, Kroger closed or merged over 100 stores, mainly in California, Illinois, and Washington, where operating costs, taxes, and employee wages have skyrocketed. According to data from CoreSite Research, Kroger's Q2 2025 net profit fell 7.8%, while employee health insurance costs rose nearly 22% from the previous year. In addition, FTC investigations into the merger with Albertsons have stalled expansion plans, creating serious financial pressure. Notably, consumer behavior is changing. Middle-class Americans are cutting spending on fresh foods and shifting to low-cost chains like Aldi and Dollar General. Kroger itself has had to convert many stores to a low-cost hybrid model, reducing checkout counters, cutting staff, and switching to self-checkout. CEO Rodney McMullen said at a press conference in August 2025, "Consumers are not only looking for low prices, they are changing their way of life." And that shakes the entire traditional supermarket model. Experts warn, if the old supermarket model is not restructured, the U.S. could witness the largest wave of grocery store closures since 2008. Do you still shop at traditional supermarkets, or have you switched to online orders? Share in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you think what's happening in the U.S. retail and restaurant sector is worth following. 3. Macy's. When America's luxury icon is being liquidated. For over a century, Macy's was the place Americans dreamed of every holiday season. From the Thanksgiving parade on New York Avenue to the brightly lit floors where you picked your first dress for Christmas night. Macy's didn't just sell clothes, they sold emotions, memories, and an era. But that dream is in free fall. In 2025, Macy's confirmed it would close over 150 stores, cut 2,300 jobs, and is considering selling off real estate to maintain cash flow. Revenue over the past 3 years dropped 25%, stocks fell over 60%, and many malls, once thriving thanks to Macy's foot traffic, are now empty parking lots. The truest story lies behind closed doors. An employee in Ohio recalled, On the day the sign was taken down, many people cried, not because of losing their jobs, but because it felt like America lost a part of its past. This empire didn't collapse because of an enemy, but because of the confidence that customers would never change. While Amazon, Shein, and Temu offer low prices and home delivery, Macy's still tried to maintain its outdated luxury image until costs killed them. Now, some old locations in Chicago and Los Angeles are being converted into apartments or co-working spaces. A brand that once defined Black Friday is now a product in its own final clearance sale. Do you think Macy's can revive? Or is it time for Americans to accept that the era of shopping malls has ended? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 2. Subway. When the sandwich empire no longer smells of fresh bread. Subway was once the symbol of fast yet healthy eating. In the 2010s, on any street corner in the US, you could see the bright green and yellow signs and smell freshly baked bread in the air. But today, that scent has gradually disappeared. After a series of scandals and strategic mistakes, Subway is shrinking at an unprecedented pace. Over 400 stores closed in 2024, and according to Bloomberg, more than 2,000 locations could disappear within the next 3 years. Once the world's largest restaurant chain by store count, surpassing even McDonald's, Subway has lost itself. They franchised aggressively, opening stores everywhere, gas stations, campuses, airports, without quality control. When sales dropped, small franchise owners cried for help, but the parent company ignored them. A store owner in Florida shared, "I used to sell over 200 sandwiches a day, now only 60. They raised franchise fees, and we are left with the losses." Americans are changing their habits. They want truly fresh food, with personal branding and fewer chains. Meanwhile, Subway clings to its old image, launching multiple Eat Fresh campaigns without updating the menu. The result? Customer numbers plummeted, quality weakened, and trust vanished. Now, many Subway stores are being replaced by new brands like Jersey Mike's or Firehouse Subs, more flexible, approachable, and customer-savvy competitors. An empire that once had over 40,000 stores worldwide is now shrinking, like the very cold sandwiches on its shelves. Do you remember the last time you ate at Subway? Or have you already switched to another brand without realizing it? Share your story in the comments below. I want to hear from you. 1. Red Lobster. The seafood feast becomes a tragedy. If you've lived in the US long enough, the name Red Lobster evokes family meals, steaming plates of lobster, and the smell of melting butter. But what was once the pride of American chain dining is now on the bankruptcy list. In May 2024, Red Lobster officially filed for bankruptcy protection, closing over 100 restaurants nationwide. And what shocked the public? It wasn't a lack of customers, but being overwhelmed by their own all-you-can-eat shrimp. Exactly. In an effort to attract customers amid inflation, Red Lobster launched an all-you-can-eat shrimp promotion. Meant to be a lifesaver, but it turned out to be a dagger. Many customers came, but rising ingredient costs, negative profits, and insufficient loyal customers couldn't cover the mounting debt. An internal report revealed, for every shrimp plate sold, the company loses $11. From there, the third largest U.S. seafood chain began to fracture. Thai investors pulled out, thousands of employees lost their jobs, and many famous locations, like Red Lobster in Orlando, Houston, or Phoenix, now display for lease signs. Experts say this collapse is a harsh lesson for the American restaurant industry. The era of all-you-can-eat cheap is over. Americans now choose to eat less, smarter, and are not loyal to any brand for too long. Have you ever been to Red Lobster? Or do you think the era of big chains, low prices has officially ended in the US? Comment below. I really want to hear your story. Looking back at the list of giants closing stores, from Walmart to Walgreens, it's clear. This isn't just a few stores disappearing. This is a sign of an America changing at its core. Consumers shop online, costs skyrocket, retail crime rises. All of it is wiping out models that dominated for decades. But in every crisis, there's opportunity. Empty spaces will become areas for small businesses, warehouses, or new startups. The retail industry isn't dying. It's being reborn in a harsher way. Now the question for you, which giant do you think will fall next? Leave a comment. I'll pick the best ones to appear in the next video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Because next week, we'll explore the 5 US cities losing jobs the fastest in 2025. The retail apocalypse isn't coming. It's already here.